Trish from the Cadbury kitchen is here with me today in the Everyday Gourmet kitchen, and we're going to be cooking a delectable chocolate dessert.
We are.
What is it today, Trish?
It's the frozen two-tone chocolate dessert. It's one of my favourites because it's a delicious ice cream dessert which is like ridiculously simple to make.
So we've got the baking chocolate here, the Cadbury baking chocolate. What do we have to do for this recipe to start with?
Okay, the first thing we need to do is break up some chocolate.
Okay.
So we need 100 grams each of the milk chocolate and the dark chocolate. And the easiest way for you to measure that is to look at the lines, okay? So each of these little lines constitutes 20 grams.
Great. And so I saw on the packets you've got these sort of milk blocks. It says cocoa solids and it goes from sweet to bitter. What's that all about?
It's got at the bottom, it's got the little cocoa meter. So on the dark block, you'll see it's got 45% cocoa solids, and it's got 3 little cocoa beans filled in. So the more bitter it gets, the more little beans will be filled in. And on the milk solids, because that's sweeter and milkier, it only has 1 little bean.
Well, I love the dark chocolate, so the more bitter for me, the better, I say.
So more beans for Justine.
More beans for me.
Right, so we need to put that on, and we need to add to it some condensed milk. And these are just going to melt gently over the heat.
And what have we got here?
That's a little bit of brandy.
Nice little touch.
Yes, you can put a little bit of brandy in, so a little bit in each. Because we're actually melting the chocolate with another ingredient, we can actually allow it to melt directly in the saucepan in this instance. Okay, so that's really nicely melted there. So what we need to do now, Justine, I'll give you the dark one, and I'll take the milk one. So we need to just pour this mixture.
Ooh, nice and thick.
Straight into the bowl and then into the freezer for about 15 minutes, just to allow it to cool down quickly, and it will get quite thick and tacky.
I'll put them in for you.
So straight into the freezer.
So look at this, nice and gooey.
Yep, beautifully thick and luscious, and that forms the basis, and it'll help it to thicken up really quickly. So we need to put that into the mixer.
Into the mixer. A whole lot. Oh, it's sticky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really sticky.
That's that condensed milk that we used before that's made it like that. Yum. So this is the milk chocolate one.
And then we need to put in 300 mils of cream.
And that's measured out. Pop that straight in.
And you need to whip that. It'll take a little while until it's nice and sort of soft peaky.
Okay.
Delicious. Okay, that looks nice and thick now.
It is. Beautiful. Luscious. Yum. Look at that.
Beautiful. Righto. That will go straight into this here, but I need you to get on and get the next one ready.
Not a problem.
Which is the dark chocolate, and we do the same thing. Beat that up and then add the cream to it and let it get nice and thick.
And so you've just got a loaf tin here that you've just lined.
Yep.
I guess really important to line, or else it'll be hard to get out of the...
Well, yeah, it's a little hard to get out. I usually like to use baking paper for this, although some people would prefer plastic wrap.
This is almost exactly like a semi-Frito, if you like. Okay, I'll put this mixer back on and we'll give it another mix. Rightio.
Awesome.
That's ready. Beautiful. So that's, of course, you can see the darkness comparison to that colour. It's going to look great when we flip it over and turn this on out.
So just gently pour it over the top.
Okay.
And then when it's frozen, you'll see the 2 different distinct layers. So that goes straight into the freezer now. It takes at least 4 hours to set, or to freeze, but I usually recommend that you leave it there overnight.
Okay.
Okay, so that looks beautiful. It's nicely frozen, and what I've done is to loosen it up just by popping it into some warm water to make it a little more slippery so that it comes out easily. Okay. So I guess the easiest thing to do before you slice it is to turn it over onto a serving dish and invert it.
Hopefully it's going to come out. It will. Okay. Did you want me to get some of this garnish ready?
Yes, please. Can you cut off some of those? Cut up
and how dramatic is that when you bring that to the table, serve it up?
And then just pick a slice up and onto the centre of the plate.
And then we just dress it with some of these really nice fresh berries. You could use whatever you want. We've got some raspberries here, blueberries. Tell you what, if you came to my house and brought that, I'd be very impressed. It looks absolutely delicious. So creamy, but so smooth and velvety.
Beautiful.
Really, really love that. I'm stealing that recipe from you.